That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. Stand clear, don't metal talk. You can't stand where I stand. You can't walk where I walk. Watch out, we run New York. Policemen come, we bust them out the park. I know this for a fact. You don't like how I act. You claim I'm selling crack, but you be doing that. I'd rather say see ya, cause I would never be ya. Be an officer, you wicked overseer. You hot shot, wanna get props and be a savior. First show a little respect, change your behavior. Change your attitude, change your plan. There could never really be justice on stolen land. Are you really for peace and equality? Or when my car's hooked up, you know you wanna follow me. Your laws are minimal, cause you won't even think about looking up the real criminal. This has got to cease, cause we be getting hyped to the sound of the police. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. Open up your eye while you're checking out the boom bap. Check the exercise. Take the word overseer like a sample. Repeat it very quickly in the crew, for example. Overseer, 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 overseer. Officer, 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 officer. Yeah, officer from overseer. You need a little clarity? Check the similarity. The overseer rode around the plantation. The officer is on patrol in all the nation. The overseer could stop you what you're doing. The officer will pull you over just when he's pursuing. The overseer had the right to get ill, and if you fought back, the overseer had the right to kill. The officer has a right to arrest, and if you fight back, they put a hole in your chest. They both ride horses. After 400 years, I got no choices. The police, they have a legal gun, so when I'm on the streets, I walk around with a bigger one. I hear it all day, just so they can run the light and be upon their way.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. Check out your message in a rough style. The real criminal of the COP. You check for undercover and the 1DT. But just a mere black man that one check me. Them check out me car for it shine like the sun. But them jealous or them vexed cause they can't afford one. Black people still slaves up to today. But the black police officer now see it that way. It wants a salary, it wanted, so we put on a badge and kill people for it. My grandfather had to deal with the cops. My great-grandfather dealt with the cops. My great-grandfather had to deal with the cops. And then my great-great-great-great, when it's gonna stop? That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.